Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I see there's still do a quick video because I see there's been an update on the Grant Williams situation. Juan Cruz Mallia has been cited. Sanzar's disciplinary committee obviously thought it was worth a citing, and they only cite, just to remind you, if they feel it's a red card incident. So, what does that say to us? But first, let's have a look at the citing itself, what came out from Sanzar, and then we'll talk about what exactly it says about the incident as such. Card incident. So, what does that say to us? But first, let's have a look at the citing itself, what came out from Sanzar, and then we'll talk about what exactly it says about the incident as such. Okay, so this is from Sanzar's official release. It just shows that he's been cited under Law 9.11. 11 seconds in the match. That's how early it was. I didn't even realize it was that early, but he says he's been cited for alleged foul play during a rugby championship match at the weekend. The statement goes on to saying that Cruz Mallia is alleged to have contravened Law 911. Players must not do anything that is reckless or dangerous to others during the match. Upon further review of the match footage, the citing commissioner deemed in his opinion that the incident met the red card threshold for foul play. This case is to be considered first instance by Sanzar Foul Play Review Committee. So it'll take place on Tuesday at 10 a.m. South African time. They first go to there, and the players can also just to let you know what that happens means. It first goes to that Foul Review Committee. You can choose to plead guilty. If you do, then the chances are you'll get a reduced sentence. If you choose to be not guilty, it must go to a full disciplinary where it will be seen by a disciplinary panel. So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Okay, let's return to the discussion. I think the first thing of all here is it's quite clear that the match officials got it all wrong. Sorry, just adjusting the light. It's not in my eyes that badly. The match officials got it wrong, and badly wrong. Andrew Brace, who said it was just a rugby incident. I know there's people who don't agree with that, think that it is a rugby incident, and in some ways I tend to agree. Although what I try and actually bring into this is that if you're looking at the way the law is at the moment, then you have to award a red card for that. The law that they mention here is Law 9.11. Players must not do anything that is reckless or dangerous to others, and that's what it comes down to, by the way. There's a little bit more, but that's the gist of it. Just looking at that law itself, if we're giving, as I said in the previous video, if we're giving red cards for accidental head clashes or accidental clashes in the air, then you've got to expect that this one should also be a red card. I think the officials got it extremely wrong, and I suppose what does that say about officials that are going to the World Cup and who sort of, four of them, 3 on the field and a TMO, and nobody's decided to speak up against the referee and tell him that he had got it wrong. I think that's a big worry. I think these officials are going to the World Cup, and if you think of it in a bigger game, in a bigger setting, how would that have been affected the World Cup match? And those are the biggest stakes of any coach's career. Not to mention the player welfare issue. That's the biggest thing of all. And I think the most telling point is that Andrew Brace let it go on for how long afterwards? 14 seconds. And without stopping the game. I think we really were let down in that incident by the match officials. I don't want to really bag the ref, but at the end of the day, if it was a red card, how do you go from it's a rugby incident and a penalty to Argentina, no less, on the attack against the box, to saying, hey, it's now a red card and the guy should have been sent off? How much would that have changed the game at Ellis Park? How much would that have worked in the Springboks' favour and made a big difference? And now you got Juan Cruz Mallia has got to worry now that he's going to miss the World Cup. There's only a number of weeks, I think 6.5 weeks to the World Cup. How long is he going to be banned for? Because they wouldn't. Normally what happens, and even though a player can try and prove his innocence, if you get cited for a red card incident, that normally means you're getting a ban. Whether you like it or not, just the severity of it is going to be the thing that really matters. I'd probably say between 3 and 6 weeks. I don't think they want to see him miss a World Cup, and I don't think we should want to see a player miss the World Cup either. But it was reckless. It was late. It was dangerous, and unfortunately, that's the letter of the law. And while we might say that rugby's going soft and we're trying to sanitize the game, and I know there are people that believe that. And the bottom line is, under the current laws, that's what you have to look at, and if that's what the current laws are, then it's a red card, and that's how the officials let us down on the weekend. Of course, you can always be. I don't really want to delve into this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. I mean, can you imagine the outcry at the World Cup if that was on a Johnny Sexton or on or on a Bowden Barrett or even on Marcus Smith or Owen Farrell. In fact, Farrell will probably be the one who does the the late George. No shame, I shouldn't be horrible at him like that, but he does have a history of some questionable tackles. You can see that country's media and the teams, and imagine Eddie Jones or Michael Cheika of all people. So they both, if it happened to their players, you wouldn't hear the end of it, and you wouldn't hear the end of it if it was a British player and the UK press got hold of it. So I think we're right in raising these issues, and I think at the end of the day we're going to treat it for what it was. It has now been cited. That's the right course of action, and whatever the punishment is that the disciplinary committee decides is the one. I'm glad Grant Williams is only out for hopefully 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully his symptoms aren't worse than that, and hopefully he recovers very well. I feel sorry for him that he couldn't go through the game, because I think he deserves a shot, but I think he will get a shot at some point as well. And I see a long Springbok career ahead of him. He's a great player and he deserves his place. That's I thought I'd just do a quick update. I'm doing another video soon on some other stuff for the Springboks, but keep an eye out for it. And subscribe if you haven't, and look out for our podcast. The MDelcom and I have a very special guest this week on our podcast, so have a look out for that on Thursday when it comes out. Cheers.